Welcome to Tales of Honor, a podcast with a mission to tell the true stories of every recipient of our nation's highest military award, the Medal of Honor. Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode of Tales of Honor podcast. I'm your host Christoph Ambrosch and happy October. First episode of the new month, and this is episode number 555, continuing on with World War II recipients. Before we get into today's episode, I have 4 birthdays to go over today, 3 of which were yesterday on October 1st. We're going to start with Mr. Patrick Brady. His birthday is October 1st, 1936. Patrick Brady is a former U.S. Army Major General that earned the Medal of Honor for his actions during the Vietnam War, so a very happy 86th birthday yesterday to Mr. Patrick Brady. Next up is Mr. Alan Kellogg Jr., who is a former U.S. Marine Corps Sergeant Major that earned the Medal of Honor also for his actions during the Vietnam War. He turned the beautiful age of 79 years old yesterday as well, October 1st, 1943. So a very happy birthday to Mr. Kellogg. Next up is a more recent recipient, Mr. Ryan Pitts, who is a former U.S. Army Staff Sergeant that earned the Medal of Honor for his actions during the war in Afghanistan. I did cover his story, and I'll have a link in the show notes for you to go check out. But he turned the awesome age of 37 years old yesterday, October 1st, 1985. So a very happy birthday to Mr. Ryan Pitts. Lastly is actually tomorrow's birthday, October 3rd, 1981. This birthday belongs to Mr. Matthew Williams, who is a current U.S. Army Sergeant Major that earned the Medal of Honor for his actions in Operation Enduring Freedom. So a very happy 41st birthday to Mr. Matthew Williams tomorrow, and I'll also have a link in the show notes for his story as well. That's all the birthdays I have for today of living recipients, and I believe that's all that I have to go over. So let's get into today's Tale of Honor. Herbert was born in Byesville, Ohio on the 18th of June, 1912, and although not much of his early life is documented, it is known that he spent time in the Ohio Boys Industrial School, a reform school for juvenile male offenders. After his time there, Herbert worked as a truck driver and was married to Catherine in January of 1939, and the couple had one son the following year. In November of 1942, he was drafted into the U.S. Army, and 19 months later, he would find himself deployed to Italy in support of World War II. It was his actions with Company E, 15th Infantry Regiment, 3rd Infantry Division, that would cost him his life and later earn him the Medal of Honor. The citation reads, "For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of life above and beyond the call of duty, on 2 to 3 June 1944 at 1 a.m., Private Christian elected to sacrifice his life in order that his comrades might extricate themselves from an ambush. Braving massed fire of about 60 riflemen, 3 machine guns, and 3 tanks from positions only 30 yards distant, he stood erect and signaled to the patrol to withdraw. The whole area was brightly illuminated by enemy flares. Although his right leg was severed above the knee by cannon fire, Private Christian advanced on his left knee and the bloody stump of his right thigh, firing his submachine gun. Despite excruciating pain, Private Christian continued on his self-assigned mission. He succeeded in distracting the enemy and enabled his 12 comrades to escape. He killed 3 enemy soldiers almost at once. Leaving a trail of blood behind him, he made his way forward 20 yards, halted at a point within 10 yards of the enemy, and despite intense fire, killed a machine pistolman. Reloading his weapon, he fired directly into the enemy position. The enemy appeared enraged at the success of his ruse, concentrated 20mm machine gun, machine pistol, and rifle fire on him, yet he refused to seek cover. Maintaining his erect position, Private Christian fired his weapon to the very last. Just as he emptied his submachine gun, the enemy bullets found their mark, and Private Christian slumped forward dead. The courage and spirit of self-sacrifice displayed by this soldier were an inspiration to his comrades and are keeping with the highest traditions of the armed forces. While the citation implies that Herbert acted alone in these actions, he was joined by Eldon Johnson, the patrol's Browning automatic rifleman. Both men would receive the Medal of Honor posthumously, and Herbert's son was presented his father's medal on the 18th of June, 1945, in a ceremony at Fort Hays, Ohio. That day would have been Herbert's 33rd birthday. Herbert Franklin Christian is buried in the Greenwood Cemetery in his hometown of Byesville, Ohio. And that was a Tale of Honor. Thank you for listening to Tales of Honor, and if you enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe and tell your friends and family. Tales of Honor is written and produced by Christoph Ambrose, and theme music is Loyalty and Duty by Floruz Music. If you have any questions, you can send an email to talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com, and please be sure to visit talesofhonorpodcast.com for more episodes and information.